Awesome. So thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Tom.
If you could just tell us your first name.
My name is Natalia.
Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood?
I was last child. I have two older sister and one stepbrother. My childhood was so-so. The thing is, my parents are very decent people, but there was always lack of the money. So I have no money as a kid for essential things. Here I'm talking about things like, I don't know, good shoes for winter, jacket, those kind of things. There was always worry as a kid, will I have them or not? So, then you have to go to school. And at the school, I think everywhere, not only in Poland, the kids can be very, they judge you by your stuff, by your notebook, pencils, crayons, shoes. And as a kid, you have no choice. You need to grab the stuff your parents give you. And I have always the worst things, so I never was considered as a good friends at school, because at school nobody really take care about your heart or personality. They just won't play with the kids who have nice toys or something like this. So I do have a feeling of rejection every day. So the childhood was not really happy because there was too many worries for a kid.
Even growing up with that, did you have any dreams as a kid as to what you wanted to be?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I really loved to listen to radio and English song especially, and I liked to watch the TV because I saw especially entertainment movie or singer on the concert like this, because I saw that the people are happy, and my dream was maybe to be actors or just to try to be on the TV like this.
Can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with your dad and how that felt for you?
Since I remember, my dad was always a decent man. He worked hard. He worked a lot. So he was always my hero, because he wake up in the morning and he's going to work and he come back, and he were always happy. I knew that we have very not a good situation about money and things like this, but he was always happy, and he always tried to pretend that everything is fine. So I liked my father. He's a good person, and he never lied to me. If he promised something, he did. So and my father also, he is very honorable. Mm-hmm. Honor is important for him. So
how did that relationship feel for you?
I just always wanted to be like my dad, because he was the right person. He was doing the right things. So I like him. I like his personality.
What about your relationship with your mom and how that felt?
My mother is totally different than father. My mom was emotionally cold. So I always, when come back from the school with some little success, I just had the feeling my mom is not really interested in that. So she's also a decent woman, but the thing is, my parents was raised in communism time. Nobody that time talk about emotion. So my mom is just too cold about emotional side. I think the relationship with the mother, and somehow with the father too, but more with the mother, should be also friendship based. Your mom should be your friend. I lack this feeling.
How did that feel growing up for you?
I just, when I finished, I think 11 or 12 years old, I discovered that if I will be the best, there is a scholarship. But to be the best, you need stuff like extra classes, extra book. I don't have that. So my free time I spend in a library, in the places like that, just to try to be the best one, because there will be scholarship, there will be some money. So it will give me the sense of being a little bit independent, less worries. So I actually did that for years. I was the best in school, in class. You can say that some years even one of the best in Poland. So growing up was very busy. I have a lot of duties to do. I had to be the best one, kind of.
What'd you learn from your parents, good or bad?
I'm grateful that they teach me that the most important part in the life is to live right. That even if you are not, I don't know, super successful or rich, that this is not the goal in the life. That the goal in the life is to live by true and have a peace of mind and have a calm sleep, to be a right person. So for this I'm grateful. I think sometimes like this, as I observe the life, maybe I did not have the money, but I never ever worry where my father is, where my mother is. I never experienced drugs or alcohol, so it's very important. So for that I'm grateful that they were very decent, and being decent actually is a lot.
Can you tell us about your first love? And it's whatever you associate as your first love. It can be a person, it can be a hobby, it can be a thing, and how that first love felt for you.
Okay, so about love, I think when I finished high school, I tried to find work in Warsaw, but it was actually 10 years ago, and economic situation of Poland was worse than now. So find any work like in the store or something was actually not that easy, and it takes time. But at the same time, I was in the model agency back then, and they asked me if I can go to Asian country, and I was like, whatever, I'm going. There's not really work here for me, so why not? And I went to China, and then I really liked the culture, and I also went to South Korea, and I fall in love in the culture and in the philosophy of those places. So I think about the love I felt, and I'm still falling every day with the culture of the China, but especially South Korea.
What about your first loss or heartbreak and how that felt?
Okay, so 3 years ago I've met a man online, and he was from another country, and we text quite often, and at some point we were texting every day, and he was very nice, very polite, and very interested in me. He texted me every day, but always polite way, always nice. We have a lot of topic to talk about, and he decided to come to Warsaw to visit me, and everything was amazing. I felt it's very good match, and I think it was like a fairy tale. But at some point, I discovered after a few months that actually he is in 8 years relationship. But that moment I felt like being shot by a bullet, because person from another country is coming to your country, so it's some effort. Texting to you every day, you trust this person, you give him your time, you give other things, and suddenly you discover you've been cheated on, and you don't really cannot do anything with that. I mean, what you can do? You just have a heartbroken for some time, and later there was coronavirus started, and that time I also lost work, so I lost my love, I lost work, so it was kind of hard time for me.
How'd you cope in that time frame?
I read a lot of philosophy book. I read a lot of good movies. I was going to park for outdoors running, and I spent my time like this. Of course, I was sad, but I did not let sadness to kind of ruin me even more. Yeah.
Who would you say first taught you what love is and how?
Can you one more time read?
Who would you say first taught you kind of what love is.
Okay, I described the love.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me personally, the love is something we all searching for, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things in the life. It should be pure and should come without any condition. Actually, it's just something what happened, and it should be true. And I think when you love somebody, you take care about this person, and this person is very important for you, and you act like you don't hurt this person, and you stay not only when the time is good, but also when some trouble comes, because it's normal. You also support each other and help each other and grow together.
How do you describe love for yourself, not just in a relationship? So what's love to you just for yourself or in general?
Okay, I think it's very important to love myself, because for some years I didn't. I was always for other people, and you need to be careful if you have personality like this, because sometimes you help and you give away a lot from you, and then you are just empty. And when you have problem, it's not like those people will help you. So first of all, you need to love yourself, and if you do that, you can love other people more. And I take care about myself, which means good diet, vitamins, good sleep. I do all of these things because those are important.
What is a good day like for you?
I'm a morning person, so I always wake up very early, 5, 6, 7. Good days start with the cup of the coffee, some good music, maybe some book. I like to read, so every morning I read some pages of book. I like psychology and philosophy, so usually I read something connected with that subject. Good day is productive day. Good day is productive day. I did something, I did some sport, and I did something new. I like, for example, in my free time, go to some district and just discover a new coffee shop, new places like this. A little good days is happiness from the little things in life.
What about a bad day, and how do you get through that bad day?
I think bad day for me is maybe when I have some miscommunication with somebody, or when there was some argue, or when I hear some bad news, and I'm actually highly sensitive. So when there is some bad information, or something happened at work, or somebody blame me for something I did not do, those have a little bit of impact of me. So this is a bad day.
How do you deal with that?
I try to calm down. I know that it's temporary.
What's a person or an event that has shaped you, good or bad?
I don't really have one person. It's a few person. First of all, my dad. I really admire him, because he even right now he's 72, and he's still from time to time going to some work. My father has strong personality, so I think I always observe him. It's a good example. Also, person without smoking, drinking, also not a bad habit. But then also, I always read stories behind the famous people or celebrity. For example, we all know the Robert Lewandowski, very famous football player, Polish one. But he comes from very basic family. He even experienced poverty, and by the hard work and honest work, he's super famous now, super rich. So the people like this, the stories like that, inspire me, that even when I didn't really have a good start, it's not finished. I can still make something in my life. Also, the Asian philosophy. Why I like Asia? Because Asian people remain calm, and in this calm there is a lot of power actually. And when I read about South Korea, I remember that there was in 1950 there was a war between North and South, and North, as we know, don't really do good, but Seoul, Korea, South Korea is doing amazing, very good economy. Samsung, LG, cosmetics is all from South Korea, and I just was surprised how they did that. Actually, it's a very small country, much 3 times smaller than Poland. So I read a lot about philosophy. So I think the Asian philosophy also have impact on me because I spent about 3 years there as a very young lady.
Did that Asian philosophy influence what we had talked about earlier very briefly about everything moving so fast and then slowing down in the moment, right?
Yes, I've discovered that Asian people are very elastic. When it's work, there is work. When it's time to study, you study. When it's time to party, you party. So they develop very fast, but they did not forget what is important in the life, such a friendship, family. So I admire a lot of things about them.
What's the biggest thing that inspires you?
The biggest things that inspire me. I think, okay, sometimes I watch on Instagram or on the Facebook the people who actually are disabled. Some people have no legs and they are runner, sprinter. And in that moment I think to myself, maybe some part in my life I was not lucky with, but how about them? They don't feel sorry, they don't feel pity, they just do the stuff. So those kind of people, those kind of attitude keep me motivated.
Mm-hmm. What's been a humbling experience for you?
Humbling. Do you have another word for that?
Humbling.
Like it's same from being humble.
Yeah.
So what is experience?
What makes you? What's something that helps make you humble or has made you humble?
You can translate, but I think I understand. I'm just thinking how to answer. Okay, I know. So as I say, I have 2 older sisters, but one of them struggled with, let's say, serious depression. And I try to help, but sometimes I'm very strict, and a lot of people say that I have strong personality. So I try to help, but sometimes I was too tough, and sometimes I even feel a bit of shame that why this happened. And because she stopped working, a lot of trouble, things like this, serious case, let's say. And I was that time I was very busy with my life, and by a situation like this, I a bit calm down, and I accept this, and I just this situation teach me that I should be more open for other people, and I should see bigger picture, and I should not be ever ashamed that my sister or anybody from my family or from my friends suffer from the mental illness. But here I can explain why. Because in Poland, if you say, I have depression, the people gonna talk, oh, you went crazy. And I think it's crazy to talk this way, because yeah, and even if you have depression, maybe at work they look at you like you are weird or strange. So that's why I had those kind of a little bit of shame. But then I rethink about this, and I'm not feel ashamed anymore. I just want to help the people who suffer from any mental illness, and I hope that in Poland, people in charge, like government or hospital or anything, or even organization, will focus more on those cases and help them, because on the Facebook you have when you have birthday, you can do some charity event. So I wanted to do that, and then I have a list of charity places, and I wanted to choose something connected with mental illness or mental hospital, but there is nothing. So it's a bit sad. And also in Poland, the mental hospital or psychologist help is just very bad. So it's not good, because those kind of people don't really have a help, but they need to have help. So
how'd you get over that shame? Or
I actually watch one Korean drama which is on the Netflix. The name is It's Okay Not to Be Okay. And there is a lot of going on. I don't want to go to details because I will talk for hours about this. But there is a story about two brothers, and one of them actually is a nurse, working as a nurse in a mental hospital, and another one is actually he's suffering from the mental illness. But the brother, which is healthy, mentally healthy, he's just taking care about him. He's taking him everywhere. And it's inspired me to never ever be ashamed. I think the one who should be ashamed is the people who think that if you have depression or if you're not doing well, there is some problem with you. That's a shame. We should help each other more. So that's why I'm a bit suffer daily, because Poland have great potential, and Poland is a great country. If you see the map of the Europe, we kind of big, but we should be more nicer and more open for all kind of emotion.
go in your mind and think, this life event can be mental, physical, or spiritual. Can you tell us about a time in your life that you can relate with the word war?
Can you read one more time?
So for this question, the answer can be abstract. So it can be mental, physical, or spiritual. It's however you see it. But a time in your life that you associate with the word war.
Okay. So you want me to answer, like, if I have in my life some experience that I kind of awake in the spiritual aspect or mental?
Any of those aspects.
And if the war affect something in my life? Okay, okay, I need 1 minute. Okay, well, I have a lot of situation in my life that kind of open my mind, but I think the real change happened, I think, last years, when I free myself from all the, let's say, bullshit which was just in my mind, or maybe my thinking was not correct. So, for example, I give up any kind of jealousy because jealous is not good emotion and it can destroy. So, for example, I also talk. I like to talk with old people because they are very wise. So once I talked with my older colleague, she's above 60, and we were talking about something, and she told me that she is never jealous about her rich friends. If she visits them, she's happy for them, and she will just get good quality coffee. So I think it's very pretty thinking. So I think also if I see some, I'm a girl, so sometimes between girls it's always some competition who is better looking, who is more skinnier, things like this. I also think it's not necessary. So when I see somebody beautiful, I'm just gonna say, wow, you are so pretty. And I feel better with that, really. There's no point to feel jealous. If somebody have Ferrari, yeah, nice, of course. I'm going by pass, you go by this. All okay. Yeah, so yeah, so I give up the jealousy and I just give up something unnecessary. Also, I know, spiritual awakening happened when I read the Marcus Aurelius philosophy books. So he left a few books, but the title is, I think, the Thoughts About Life, something like this, and he were collecting all his thoughts to one book, and even that it was in the, I hope I'm not wrong, but first century, a lot of years ago. If you read this book, you feel like he wrote this yesterday, and it's about philosophy and it's about how to live and how to don't care about things which are not important, how to don't bother your soul, how to live right and how to live free, how to don't care about things which are not up to us. For example, my favorite quote is that you have power over your mind, not outside event. Realize that and you will have power, something like this. So it's his quotes, and when I read that, I think it's very powerful. So that was awakened moment, and I have the books in my home, and sometimes I come back to them. So to anybody who feel a bit lost in them life, I will suggest to read this book. They are short and easy to read and life-changing, really.
What is your truth?
What is my truth?
Yeah, your truth.
To live the way that you are free from unnecessary emotion. And my truth is also to... I find out that a lot of people want to show off, or a lot of people living a lie. It's a headache. But if you don't lie, you don't have to remember the things, and you are free. You have the sense of the freedom, which is very important. For everybody, freedom maybe means something else, but for me personally, freedom is a peace of mind. Peace of mind is very important for me. So my truth is just actually living as much by a truth as possible.
So for this next question, it's the same type of question. It can be, the answer can relate to something mental, physical, or spiritual. Can you tell us about a time that you associate with the word peace?
Like talk about period in my life when I feel peace.
Yeah, it can be inner or outer, just...
Actually, as I see my life, the most happy time in my life is when I was in Asia. Why? Because in Asia, it's very important if you have good work ethic, good work attitude. And if you want to study, if you want to improve, they really clap for you. You have a lot of opportunity. So I'm this kind of person, actually. I could be very focused on work or some task. And in Asia, it's really pay off. And I have this peace because it was more opportunity, and just those people think similar to me. In Poland, I have, compared to other Polish people, I'm more open-minded. So I can understand a lot of things, and also I'm interested in another culture, in philosophy, so I'm more open-minded than some other people. And yeah, I lost my point.
That's okay. What about what you had talked about earlier, the the pace of everybody moving so fast and trying to go, and then kind of, can you expand on that?
Like about, but I were talking about this in general, everywhere.
You were what we talked about downstairs.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so nowadays we live in the life, like technology is well developed. You have Instagram, you have WhatsApp, you have everything. You can connect with the friends who is, I don't know, in China, in Los Angeles, from here, everywhere. And everything is so fast, so fast. We don't have time for something which is important. So I think sometimes that people are going too fast, and we most of them chase the money, but they are losing things like health. They are losing best friends. They are losing some good connection with family. So I think it will be better if sometimes we calm down and step back from this race.
Would you mind sharing with us the hardest thing you've been through?
Can be two things or one.
It can be two, yeah.
I have one thing, and one thing is connected with one work in China. So I got a work for some magazine, and the photographer wanted this work to be made in one of the Chinese city in the middle of the China, because there are some mountains here. So the view is good in his artistic opinion. And we went there. I went there with one model from Canada, a boy, and we supposed to have shooting together. So we arrived to another city, which is 3 hours by flight from Beijing, and we met another crew, photographer, makeup artists, people like this. And then we go by car up 4 hours drive up to the mountains. And I really like the Chinese people, but Chinese people sometimes forget something very important about organization. And if you go to the mountain like this, and if you still go 4 hours drive up, you actually should have some mask, oxygen change. So yeah, we went there, and the thing is, it was November, and it was so cold, and my clothes was very light. But in those mountains, there was nothing. Actually, nobody is living there. So if you want to go to toilet or drink something warm, not really possible. And the air starts to be hard to breathe, cold, everything. And just condition of this work was so awful that at some point I was thinking, I'm not gonna make that. I'm cold. I don't have proper food, proper drink. The temperature was minus 15, I think. The model from Canada was even in worse condition than me. Yes, I remember at this work at the hotel, we went to have rest because it was 2 days shooting. We did not have time to go to another hotel. It was too dangerous to drive in those area. And we end up sleeping in some place which have broken window. So I slept under blanket, but also jacket, everything, whatever. And it was just the worst work ever. And I think I will not make that. But there's another thing. As I was talking about love life. So I used to have fiancé from another country. And I took holiday off. We have some plan for the future, like where we will live, these kind of things. And I took the holiday off. I find him in his place, and at some point in the morning, I got the Facebook message that he used to betray me around Christmas time, which he knows it's my favorite time of the year. And I've got pictures, screenshot, everything. While I supposed to be on the holiday with my fiancé, it was 1 month after the engagement, after the proposal. So I was in another country, and at some point, it was so shocking, but I need to keep the cold blood because I need to come back to my place. And I need to take bus, take train, take all my things. And okay, that's maybe not so difficult, but under the circumstances like this, it was super stressful, and my cortisol level just went up like this. And I think that was, that was difficult situation. Yeah.
How'd that feel? And how'd you get through it?
You know, it just feels very painful. Like it's hard to describe, but you just feel the pain inside your whole body, and you became a little bit of numb, I would say, and it's just very unfair, because from my perspective, I went for a holiday. I took the holiday off for my fiance to visit him, and everything is okay. And suddenly I got the messages that at the time he told me back then that he's at work, this. He was doing totally different things, while that time I was just working hard. So it feels really awful and heartbreaking, and disappointment, a lot of disappointment. But at some point, I just it just cut me off, that I just wanted to leave those place and never come back. And but it's very heavy. It's very heavy to handle, and it's something I did not deserve. And I think the people who decide betray other people should really rethink what they are doing to other person, because I'm kind of strong, but still those situations cause a lot of trauma, and you can be somehow traumatized for a life. So yeah, but also I'm happy, because every toxic relationship sooner or later gonna take all your energy. So it's very important to get rid of the toxic friends, and especially toxic partner.
What's the happiest moment in your life?
The happiest moment, this year I graduate from my university, and I went to university 5 years later. It was always my dream to study at University of Warsaw, because it's just the best in Poland, and it's at the old town. It's a very pretty place, and everybody knows that it's good quality university. So I went there and I finished my study, and I graduate with good grades, and it's happening in July, and yeah, I was very happy. I think it was one of the most happiest moments in my life.
What keeps you up at night?
You know, there is a movie, Green Miles. I think most of the people know. And there's this big dude. I don't know his name, but he says something like what pains him is that he's lonely, and like a sparrow in the rain, I think he said, and that people ugly to each other. And actually, that's kind of, if there's anything which keep up at night, is that ugliness of some people. Because I think the life itself is very beautiful, but sometimes what people do to each other, how stupid and unnecessary is that, sometimes this pains me. And I think about this a lot. For example, you ask me about war-related things, and that's also awful. We are in Poland, there is Ukraine, and crazy things going on there. We're living in 21st centuries. It's awful what people can do to other people.
How does that feel for you, that there's a war right across the border?
Helpless, actually, because I can donate some money, I can send some clothes, I can, I don't know, do something, but I cannot stop this. I think powerless, and it's awful because Ukraine is my neighbor, and I know that a lot of people there already suffer, because a lot of Ukrainians come to Poland to work, but Poland is not that good market. So even in Ukraine was worse. So they already have very humble. A lot of people there already experience poverty, and now they have bomb, and they need to fight, and a lot of people just dying on the streets. So it's awful, and life goes on.
Do you think that life changes as it goes on during moments like this? That things like this change you?
Maybe change me in the aspect of being open for somebody which I don't know, and maybe listen, because I did not know that much about Ukrainian people actually, but now we have more of them, and most of them are very kind and nice people. So this situation teach me to be more open. I'm also very proud for my people, because a lot of people from Poland just go to border help and take those people from Ukraine in need also home. So I'm surprised by this kind of help. Yeah, this situation like this open the people heart more, but still I'm very sad that it happened, and it's already I think 4 months. It's all the time, every day. It's a war there. And we don't know how this will end. There's a lot of gossip, things like this.
What keeps you going every day?
Con?
Going. What keeps you going every day?
Going. What keeps me going anyway? I have a hope that if I will work hard and work smart and improve myself, that my day will come. I'm still kind of a little bit struggling, because my sister have a poor health, and I would like to help, but it's up and down, and I love my work, but it's not my goal yet, so I need to put more work. But what keeps me going, I think if I will put a lot of work, and if I will work humble in silence, that one day I will get what I want. Yeah, I'm actually also very grateful for the things that I'm healthy, that I'm able to do something. I'm a morning person. I'm also grateful for that, because I can do a lot of things before my work. Yeah.
Imagine you're in the hospital today with only hours to live. What would be your regrets, if any?
1 hour. 1 hour left?
Hours. Yeah.
Hours. What hours? Maybe I would regret that I was sometimes too much humble, and maybe in some situation I was not brave enough to go and stand up for myself, those kind of things. I will regret that at some situation I was too tough when I should be softer. Maybe I will regret that I worked too much, and I have not enough time for some relax or something I really like to do.
So you're alive and well. Do you feel that you can be at peace or change those regrets that you just mentioned, or work towards that?
Yeah, I'm working on this. In my life, I have to fight hard for myself. As I mentioned, I was the youngest, and sometimes being the youngest means you will have everything, not always like this. I have to fight hard for my life, actually, kind of, and that's why I got this tough attitude. But I'm just working to, now my situation is stable and it's okay. So now I'm working to calm down a bit. I don't have to be in self-defense mode all the time. So I'm working to be relaxed more. I'm also try to always find some time to award myself. If I work hard 1 week, I'm going to massage or something like this. Yeah. So I'm trying to change that step by step.
You told us what your dreams were as a kid. What are your dreams now?
My dream is to learn more languages. I recently I will join the Korean language course this Monday, so I'm very happy. It's a nice course which is next to Embassy of Korea, so it's good quality course, and I'm very happy. I would love to visit South Korea again, but when I will speak the language.
You're the co-author of your life story. What's your picture perfect ending? And it's not the end, it's just if your life was a book or a movie, what do you envision your scenic ending to be?
Okay, if so, this is question like picture your life as a movie and talk about it, yeah, like this.
Yeah. The ending though is like where the fairy tale ending or the beautiful ending, if you can envision that.
Focus on the ending.
Yeah. And it's not the end of your life. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
the end of the movie.
like well, to build a family, to find a nice partner one day, maybe have a kid. Yeah, decent house. I was always living in a building, so I'm thinking about when I picture this, just a house, not an apartment in the building, house with some garden, and yeah, nice partner would be nice.
How would you think that would feel if you have the house, the partner, the family?
Peace. You don't have to worry. Just peace. Do your things and peace of mind and calm. And I mentioned garden because I like to wake up in the morning, so it's a nice view maybe. And yeah, something like this. To build a nice family, to build a nice home.